Hey everybody, so today you are going to do the area of a circle. This is almost maybe the last lesson that you have, and so I had to put a little bit of geometry in here. So for this IXL skill, you need a score of at least 50, but it's really important to watch this video so you understand how to find the area of a circle. Now to find the area of a circle, you have to understand a few things about circles. So, I drew the circle for you. Now, I want you to listen to some very important terms. The first term that is super important is the radius. Now, the radius of a circle right here is a straight line, right, from the middle of the circle to the end of the circle. So the radius is basically a line that measures the middle or the center of a circle to the end of the circle. That's what the radius is. Now sometimes they're going to ask for the diameter. Now the diameter is just double the radius. So that's something also to understand, is that the diameter is double the radius. So what the diameter is it's basically, no, that wasn't a straight line, but the diameter is a straight line that literally cuts through the center of a circle, right? Or cuts through the middle. So really what the diameter is just the radius twice. That's what the diameter is. So super important to understand that a diameter is literally the radius twice. So this whole thing right here is the diameter, and the radius is half of that, right? So the radius is half of the diameter. Okay, now to find the area of a circle, you also have to understand this weird symbol here that I have called pi. And you're going to see this in your IXL skill. It's going to look just like this. And they're going to tell you use 3.14 for pi. Pi is a number that's like infinite. It goes on, if you ever look it up, it goes on forever and ever and ever and ever. It literally is a number that never ends. And you'll always hear about pi. So, basically, to find the area of a circle, you have to multiply pi times the radius squared. And you see that here in your Google form, it says the area of a circle is pi. So this symbol right here, which stands for 3.14, times the radius squared, which really is 3.14 times the radius times the radius. Squared means we're just multiplying by the radius twice. Okay, so how do we do this? Like, how do we find the area of a circle? It's really easy, and I highly recommend that right now you go ahead and get yourself and I was looking at a calculator. You can use a calculator for this. So, let's look at the first question that IXL gives us. So it says the radius of a circle is 4 inches. What is the area of the circle? So we have that the radius is 4, and it tells us to use 3.14 for pi. So here's what I do. So now it's telling me that the radius is 4. So the formula of the area of a circle is pi r squared, which means in this scenario, it's 3.14 times 4, which is the radius, squared. Now 4 squared is just 4 times 4, right? It's just any number multiplied by itself is the radius. So what we get is 3.14 times 16. And that's all you do for the area. You're just plugging in. So we're going to do 3.14 times 16. And the answer is 50 and 24 hundredths. So we write, oops, 50.24. Now, this is going to be the same thing. The radius of the circle is 1. We have to find the area. Okay, so now instead of the radius being 4, now the radius is 1. So instead of 4 squared, it's 3.14 times 1 squared. So I put 1 squared, which is 1 times 1. 1 squared is just 1 times 1, which is 1. So the answer to that one is really simple. It's just 3.14 because anything times 1 is itself. So you're going to just keep going. Like it's going to keep telling you what's the radius, what's the area. So now the radius is 7. So instead of 3.14 times 1 squared, it's going to be 3.14. The radius here is 7, so it's times 7 squared. So you would just do 3.14 times 49. You are always multiplying 3.14, which is pi, by the radius squared, every time. Now, sometimes it might get a little bit harder. Okay, but not too much harder. So, sometimes it's going to tell you that the diameter is 22. So it's going to be like, okay, the diameter is 22. What's the area? So, if the diameter, now I need you to listen very closely. If I have the diameter, which is this whole thing, the diameter is the whole line. The radius is half of the diameter, right? Which means the radius is 11. So if you have the diameter, you just always have to find half. So for example, if the diameter, let's say the diameter is 6, the radius is 3. If the diameter is 8, the radius is 4. Because the diameter is the whole line that cuts the circle in the middle, while the radius is just half of that. So now, in this example right here, we have the diameter, so I have to find the radius because the area of a circle is pi r squared. So if the diameter is 22, that means the radius is 11. So we multiply, this would be 3.14 times 121. And that would be your answer. So again, use the calculator, please, if you need to. I recommend it. So this would be 379. Let's see, 379.94. And so now really it'll either give you the radius or it's going to give you the diameter, whichever should help you out. All you do is plug it into this formula. You're multiplying the radius squared by 3.14, and that's it. So let me know if you have any other questions.